wrote a song for Ben, called A Song for Ben Webster. At the bottom of the page, I wrote, "The Brute and the Beautiful." And that's what he is. That's what he was. The brute and the beautiful. There are legends about his being aggressive and, wanting to punch somebody in the shoulder and his strength. But on the other hand, he was a complete opposite when he played his saxophone. Oh, that beauty and tenderness. It was like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of the tenor sax.
The first thing I would like to say about Ben, he contributed. His contribution to jazz will never be forgotten. He was one of the masters. He had a sound of his own, which can never be duplicated. He had a personality of his own that will never be duplicated. When you hear Ben Webster now play a solo, you know it's Ben, because nobody sounds like Ben. That wind that goes through his horn on the note when he's holding it out, nobody could do that but Ben. He was one of a kind.
My mother, she wanted me to be a little Lord Fauntleroy with that Buster Brown collar, and I'd take my violin lessons, and all my friends, they call you sissy with the violin, sissy with the violin. Oh, I got my So maybe that tempted me to be in the mood to hate the violin. But I didn't know then, as I learned later. Violins create such a beautiful atmosphere, especially for the ballad.
Ready for the second take.
And especially if a man really knows how to write for violins. Practice. Oh, tears come down here. I hated that violin then. But as soon as she left out of the house to go teach school, I was on that piano. A cousin of mine, Joyce, she had a good piano, much better than ours. Oh, I run to her piano. Pete Johnson lives across the street. Pete showed me, or rather tried to show me the blues, and I ruined poor Joyce's piano. Being a youngster, you couldn't go in the cabarets or to the dance halls like that at that particular time. But as I got older, I used to go to the dances, hear the bands play. Benny Moulton and George E. Lee. I used to go to dance all the time and listen to the bands. But I'd always listen to the piano player. I didn't have my mind on saxophone at that time.
Going 1 block east was 12th and Vine, where all the cabarets and where all the gamblers and everybody hung out. And of course, that was very conducive to him to go up there. And then he started playing piano in those little dives. That's really where he developed piano playing, and he played enough pianos to really make money to help himself and his mother.
If you got there late in the afternoon, you could hear the guys playing. And they had been playing the night before. You could hear Joe Turner on 18th and Paseo singing all up and down the street. And about 7 o'clock at night, you could hear the Count Basie band coming from Club Reno, because it was a political machine that ran Kansas City at the time. They call it the Pendergast machine. And it was very lively. It was what you call, well, almost like a Sin City, because there was everything happening.
Benjamin came to Phoenix, Arizona. I had an orchestra of my own, and he was playing the violin and the piano. And he told me he was going to Albuquerque to a family, I think it was Lee and Lester Young. And they were supposed to be very wonderful musicians.
We went out and we lived in Lester's house. I was so surprised that Lester was so advanced at this time. He played very good then, and this was 1929. He used to practice with me. He tried to help me, and I will never forget that, because when you start out, you need all the help that you can get.
I think it must have been about a year and a half when he came back. He was playing the saxophone, and he told me that they were the ones that had introduced this saxophone to him and had given him a lot of lessons, and he loved the instrument, and he thought that would be the instrument that he would play the rest of his life.